Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 763, News from Mayberry, November 2023. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. It's time to get some shopping done, guys. It's getting cold weather. They've got warm fleece jackets that say Mayberry USA on them. Check those out. While you're sitting by the fire, there's the Andy Griffith Show, the Mayberry Puzzle Book, all about the Andy Griffith Show. Check that out. You can get you some T-shirts to wear and keep warm, maybe even some sweatshirts. And for folks in the kitchen while you're cooking, the Mayberry Tea Towel. Guys, there's all kinds of great stuff over at Weavers. Head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com and check it out. Weavers. Two Chairs is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 763 is Mike McGonigal. We've got the High Sheriff of Mayberry for 763 is Chris Merrill. And the Patreon Patron of the Week is Brian Rose. Wow, so many people. And, of course, Weaver's Department Store brings all this to us as well. So thank you to everybody for supporting the podcast. I must have made multiples of dollars doing this podcast over the last 15 years, multiple of at least dollars. But I do appreciate everybody that donates just to help me pay for expenses and keep everything going. Thank you so much. Last week I was talking about what I was thankful for. I don't know if I expressed that enough, but thank you to everybody that does that. And this week, we're going to be doing some news from Mayberry. Now, this is really coming out of the Weavers newsletter. So if you don't get the Weavers newsletter, you've got to go out there and subscribe. It's free. It won't cost you anything to do that. You can go out and get the Weavers newsletter, and it'll be delivered to your mailbox. You can also follow us on Facebook.com. I think it's /Weavers. I don't remember, but the links are there on the page. You can go over there and follow us to make sure you don't miss out on any of the fun. If you might remember that last year in November, the last issue of the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club newsletter, the e-bullet, was published. And once that was published, the Weavers newsletter became kind of the de facto official online newsletter, at least. And then we also have the Mayberry Minutes from the Mayberry chapter that you can get a paper newsletter if you'd like to. But the Weavers newsletter is our de facto Rerun Watchers Club official newsletter because, well, it's the only online one there is right now. So this issue actually marks the 6th issue for 2023 because they come out every other month and pretty much every other month. I'm trying to get them back on a schedule so that they would hit in November for the last one of the year. So the first one next year will be in January. So we're good. We're good to go. So if you guys don't get that, I definitely encourage you to, but I'm going to cover some of the fun things that we've gotten to cover that was in the newsletter. So I'm going to get just a little background music going just to kind of make it a little more snappy for us. There we go. All right, guys. So here is the Weavers newsletter for November 2023. This is the 6th edition of Weavers newsletter for this year. Wow, this is the 6th one. Now, the holiday season is here, and Weavers is hard at work filling orders for the Andy Griffith Show fans. And Weavers wanted to bring you the latest Mayberry-related news and some fun for the season. Now, Weavers would also like to just list a few of the items, so we'll talk about them, that are for sale at the Weavers Department Store, all Mayberry-related. So if you'd be interested in those, definitely go and check it out over at Weavers. Just as a reminder for everyone, any orders that Weavers receives after 10 a.m. Central Time on Saturday, December 16th. So you've got until Saturday, December 16th to order from Weavers, and they'll be able to ship you your order, and you should get it by Christmas. Anything after that, up until I don't remember what day, anything after the 16th, okay, up until I think the 18th would require U.S. priority shipping. Okay, so you're going to have to pay extra. So Nobody wants that. So get your orders in at Weavers if you're going to order anything by the 16th. All right, so I want to show you, if you're watching the video version, you'll see them. If not, I'll try to describe them to you. But there's Mayberry, North Carolina sheriff's badge, a deputy badge, and a North Carolina itself, the state, all cut out that hang on your tree. These things are awesome. So go and check them out. They're a lot bigger than you'd think they are. And so you can go check those out. They are $19, I think, a piece. Yeah, they are a piece. But they're really cool. And if you don't want one of those, they're 4 inches across, by the way, just so you know, 4 inches. And there is a magnet version of them that goes on your refrigerator. They're a lot smaller. They're about 3 inches across, but they go on your refrigerator. Really cool stuff, guys. So go and check them out. And those are some of the things you could get for Weavers for Christmas. You can give them to people, or you could have them for yourself. Have them for your very own self. So go and check those out. They also have the Mayberry Tea Towel. We mentioned at the open of the show. Have Ernest T. Bass Rock. So some of you folks actually watched the episode of the podcast of 6 months or more ago when I was recording the live show, and Mrs. Weaver hit me with a rock. And it was a stress rock, that you squeeze and everything. She still hit me with it. I don't have one laying here right now. I shouldn't have said that. She might donate one to me. But it gave us the idea to sell these rocks, and they're Ernest T's prettiest rocks. And you can get them, and they say prettiest rock you ever did see right there on the rock, and it's stress rocks. So you can squeeze them. So the biggest complaint we had was people thought that stress balls were for throwing at people that made you stressed. And these are the perfect things to do it with. It's an Ernest T. Bass stress rock. That's not really supposed to throw them at people. You're supposed to squeeze them, but if it's your choice what you do with them. Go over at Weavers and check them out. There's the Andy Griffith Show wall calendar for 2024. Don't want to miss that. This may be the very last year that they put out the calendar. At least that's what they're telling us. So this may be our last Mayberry wall calendar for a while, at least. There's also a 2024 day-by-day calendar. It's a flip calendar. You can go every day. It tells you stories about stuff. And each one of the days is covering a new fun fact about holidays. Every day has something related to a holiday and to the Andy Griffith Show. Randy Turner from This Week in Mayberry History is the one who puts together that wonderful calendar. Go and check it out. There's Mayberry books, all kinds of different Mayberry books, new ones that you definitely want to go and check out over at Weavers. This is not just a commercial, guys. So you hang on. We got some more stuff coming up in a minute. But I get excited about these things because I'm an Andy fan, just like you are. And full disclosure, my wife and I run Weavers. But these things are things I want. And matter of fact, I think if you're watching the video, I've already showed you the some of the stuff. Well, I got the calendar, I've got the books, I got everything sitting pretty much right here in arm's reach for me. Because I love this stuff. And so they have Randy Turner's bunch of books that you can get from over in that direction. There's also some inspirational books by Ronald Vaughn that are The Gospel According to Andy and Messages from Mayberry. Both really cool books if you would like to have some devotions and stuff that you like to do. They're all Andy Griffith related. There's a guide to Mayberry RFD. If you have gotten the Mayberry RFD DVD set, this is a really good book that goes along with it. Gives you all kinds of information, and go check it out. All right, there's the commercial. We're done. So I don't know. We're only several minutes into this. So in the Weavers newsletter, this issue, we had Floyd's 4-chair shop. It's the Floyd's 4-chair shop crossword puzzle. That's right. Now, this is a crossword puzzle that appeared in the Andy Griffith Show Rewind Ultras Club official newsletter at that time called The Bullet from 1988. It was volume 4, issue 2. So some of you may have actually filled this out way back then, but here's another chance for you to go and check out the crossword puzzle. The crossword puzzle is there online. You can print out the electronic version of Weavers and be able to go in and fill out all the answers, because the There's the crossword puzzle itself, and then, of course, all the clues are right below it. So go and check it out over at Weaver's newsletter. You can go to weaversdepartmentstore.com/newsletter, and you can go and read it. It's all free. You can go check it out. It'd be great to subscribe to it. So here's some other things I wanted to give you information about. We've got the events that are coming up. So it's Floyd's Barbershop bulletin board and event calendar. We got events coming up in December. Neil Brower, who wrote the Essential Mayberry. Now, he's the one that wrote Mayberry 101 as well. So he wrote this brand new updated version of Mayberry 101 with additional information in it. Lots of additional information. It's a lot bigger book, too. He wrote this, and he is actually doing some presentations right now because the book just came out back in the fall. And he will be at the name of the place is the Scuppernong. It's Scupper, Scuppernong Books on South Elm Street in downtown Greensboro, North Carolina on December the 14th. He'll be doing a presentation and signing copies of his books. So if you're in the Greensboro, North Carolina area on December the 14th, there you go. And if you can't remember what I just told you, head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com/newsletter, and the information is in the event calendar. You can also check out the event calendar over at imayberry.com. It says right there, event calendar. Just click it. It'll take you to the same place, and it'll give you all that information. All right, so coming up in 2024, Karen Knotts is going to be doing several shows during 2024. January the 26th, she's going to be doing her Tied Up in Knots show at the Orange Blossom Opry in Wearesville, Florida. So you can go and check that out. The information is in the newsletter, and you can go check it out. On February the 3rd, Karen's going to be in Sylacauga, Alabama, at Purnell Farms Resort, also doing a presentation there. Now, while you're in town, you might want to check out the Jim Neighbors exhibits at the Isabel Anderson Comer Museum there in Sylacauga, because that's Jim's hometown. So you might want to go and check that out. All right, on February the 29th through the March the 4th, they're going to have the 27th annual George Lindsay UNA Film Festival. That's right. It's amazing. All the details are yet to be determined for that, but that's when it's going to be. So if you'd like to come and see what a film festival is like, or maybe you're wanting to put in a thing, go over to lindsayfilmfest.com, and it'll have all the information like that. And you can find them there, and you can search for them on Facebook. You'll find it. All right, on April the 12th and 13th. Oh, I can't talk. April the 12th and the 13th, Mayberry I Love Lucy Festival in Granville, Tennessee is going on again this year. Guys, it was a great fun last year, or actually this year in 2023, and it's supposed to be even better next year. The special guests aren't all lined up yet, but we're supposed to have Karen Knotts, Dixie Griffith, and Keith Thibodeau. That's at least the current plan to be there. So definitely consider going there. We're also going to have a tribute artist for Barney and Floyd and Otis and Gomer and Briscoe and Charlene and the Fun Girls, Skippy and Daphne. They're going to be doing a Mayberry dinner theater, a parade. It's a lot of fun, guys. If you're in the Granville, Tennessee area, it's near Cookeville, Tennessee. Definitely try to come or just make your way there, and you can stay mostly in Cookeville, because I think Granville's a very small town. There is some lodging there. You can go to Granville, it's GranvilleTN, Tennessee, Granville, Tennessee.com, and they have all the information there about where you could stay. But you could also stay over in Cookeville, Tennessee. It's about 15 to 20 minutes away, and drive in. It's a great time, a very neat little town. And I think you would really enjoy yourself. Randy Turner, as I mentioned before, he's having his Mayberry retreat coming up on May the 8th through the 10th. It's going to be at the, I don't know how to say it, Sauder, Sauder, Sauder Heritage Inn in Archbold, Ohio. If I'm getting the names wrong, you guys just make it up, whatever it was. But you can go and check it out on the event calendar to find out exactly when they are. So they're going to have they're going to be having how Andy Griffith became Andy Taylor presentation. They're going to have a lot of different presentations. Origins of the Andy Griffith Show. Tim White from the VW Boys and Troublesome Hollow, he's going to be there providing us some bluegrass music and entertainment and comedy. Tim's an awesome guy. He'll be there at the event as well. I plan to be there as me or as whatever Randy needs me to be, but I'll be there. It's a very relaxing event. It's a fun-filled time. Think about coming to the Mayberry Retreat. All the information is in the event calendar, so go and check it out at imayberry.com, or go to you'll see a link if you go to the Weavers newsletter site there as well, or just the Weavers newsletter has the information on. So Neil Brower is going to be busy. He's starting in June 15th. He's going to be in the Andy Griffith Playhouse Museum, or Andy Griffith Museum Theater, I should say, in Mount Airy, North Carolina on the 15th. And he'll be doing a lecture about the new Doctor. He's going to be doing it that day. He's also going to be back later in July and in August. So I'll be getting to those. On June the 21st through the 23rd, a great time is expected when they have the second annual Mayberry Comes to Scottsburg in Scottsburg, Indiana. The details of this are still not nailed down either, but mark it on your calendar so you can plan to go there. You can go to mayberrycomestoscottsburg.com and find out more information as it becomes available. So Karen's going to be again on July the 11th up in Ohio at the Ohio Star Theater in Sugar Creek, Ohio. She'll be there presenting Tied Up in Knots. The Mayberry Meetup, that's sponsored by the Two Chairs No Waiting podcast. It'll be on July the 19th and the 20th. It'll be the 12th one. So details for that have not been completely stuck out there yet either, but go ahead and make plans to be in Mount Airy, North Carolina on July 19th through the 20th. On the 20th, Neil Brower will be back at the Andy Griffith Museum Theater, and he'll be doing Andy's Rich Girlfriend. That's the lecture. That'll be the subject of it. And then on the 21st of July, Don Knotts' 100th birthday, there's going to be a big celebration event going on at the Royal Theater in Macon, Missouri. And so it's going to be sponsored by Carousel Productions and hosted by the Blood Brothers chapter of the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. And it's going to feature Sean Dietrich. If you ever heard of Sean of the South, a great guy. You'll definitely love him. And there's going to be a visual presentation by Randy Turner. All that information is not completely, I don't think, nailed down either, but the information about how to get in contact with Jonna, I always say her name wrong. It will be, is in the calendar. So go and check it out. Guys, Neil Brower is going to be back in Mount Airy on the 17th doing a Wife for Andy, 17th of August, I should say. The Mayberry Days is coming up in September 24th through the 29th. Definitely want to plan to be at Mayberry Days in Mount Airy, North Carolina, if you can. And the last thing that's happening on the event calendar, and really, a reason I'm telling you all this, you need to mark them on your calendar to be at these things, or go ahead and think about going with us. The October the 26th through the 31st of 2024 will be Cruise to Mayberry number 17. That's right. We're setting sail out of Charleston, South Carolina. We're the same place we came out of this year. And we'll be heading to ports of call will be Princess Key and Nassau in the Bahamas aboard the Carnival Sunshine. So definitely plan to come with all the Mayberry characters, tribute artists, and special guest Dennis Rush, who was Howie, Opie's buddy from the Andy Griffith Show. Guys, it should be a great time. So, wow. If you're still with me, there's a lot more in the Weavers newsletter. I don't usually read all this stuff because there's so much in here. But I definitely want to talk about the news of cast and crew. With Christmas fast approaching, Ron Howard's 2000 movie, wow, it doesn't seem that long ago, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is back in the front of people's minds. The Grinch has become kind of a Christmas tradition for many families. Ron made the movie a family affair, having his father Rance in the movie, and his brother Clint, who's Leon, obviously, and his daughter Bryce. They were all part of the Grinch movie. And if you're watching the movie this season, see if you can spot all the Howard family. And if you're still hungry for Christmas movies, Ron Howard and his partner Brian Grazer, their production company, Imagine Entertainment, has produced a movie called Candy Cane Lane, starring Eddie Murphy, that premieres December the 1st on Amazon Prime Video. So if you have Amazon Prime, maybe you'd want to check that out. Keith Thibodeau, Johnny Paul Jason, that I've mentioned just a little bit earlier about the Mayberry I Love Lucy Day. He played Little Ricky on I Love Lucy, by the way, if you didn't know that. He attended the 2023 Rainbow for Kids Gala in Maryland Heights, Missouri on Friday, November the 10th. And Rainbow for Kids provides fun activities and support and friendship for children with cancer or other illnesses. So Keith was there. And I should mention that my buddy Rick Roberts, who does Barney in the Mayberry Man movie, was there as well, entertaining the crowds. And, some people like, I don't know, Jerry Mathers, the Beaver, John Provost, who played Timmy on Lassie, and Butch Patrick, who was Eddie Munster on The Munsters. They were all there raising money for this wonderful charity. So congratulations to them and thank them so much. Joy Ellison, she was a bunch of characters. Effie Muggins, Mary Scobie, Mary Wiggins. She joined a large group of travelers we could talk about in just a few minutes maybe. They had a wonderful time visiting with fans, and she came along with her friend Jackie and joined the tribute artists on the Mayberry Cruise this year. So another little plug for the Mayberry Cruise. Margaret Carey, Bess Muggins, and Helen Scobie. She's been very active on her Facebook page, posting videos and information about her activities. She talks about everything from she and her husband, Robert, visiting the National World War II Museum in New Orleans for its grand opening of the Liberation Pavilion, and honoring World War II veterans, and of which Robert is one. To discuss, then she goes on to things like discussing clothes hangers and their ability to get tangled no matter what kind of care you take. So definitely go and check out Margaret's page on Facebook. There's a link in the newsletter for doing that. Ronnie Shell, he was on 2 episodes, obviously, of the Andy Griffith Show. And he was Duke Slater on Gomer Pyle USMC. He also stays very active on his Facebook page. He attended Mayberry Days and entertained crowds in a way, that only he can. And after Mayberry Days, he was making for Canada. He was. He attended the Northern National Collectors Convention in Windsor, Ontario, where he had a wonderful time greeting fans of cartoons he voiced. Among the voices he did are like his name was Jason on Battle of the Planets. I don't know if any of you ever watched that. He was Rick Raccoon and Pushover Smurf. He was Rick Raccoon on Shirt Tales, by the way. So we had some great chapter news this time. So I really hope you're watching the video so you can see this, or you go and check it out in the newsletter. Mayberry's Finest No Interlopers chapter member Mike Creech reported to Weavers that on November the 4th, while he was watching Svengoolie on MeTV, he saw Hokal Dudwash in a movie called Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner. Only a week later, he spotted Jack Dotson, Howard Sprague, on Svengoolie in Monster Go Home, with Bernard Fox also having a small role in that film. And we're naming Mike a trained noticer officially, as his eagle eyes also spotted a bit of Mayberry in the form of Seth Taylor's statue. Yeah, that's right, his statue on an episode of The Lucy Show that was titled Lucy's College Reunion. That episode actually aired before the statue episode on the Andy Griffith Show, so they reused that prop from Lucy on the Andy Griffith Show. And he even got a screenshot of it he provided. So check them out in the newsletter. Guys, you got to subscribe to the newsletter. A lot of cool stuff. The Mayberry chapter in Knoxville, Tennessee that I mentioned earlier that puts out the Mayberry Minutes. They attended Mayberry Days back in September as well and had a great time meeting other fans. And last month, Weavers failed to mention that the chapter members had attended the Mayberry Meetup back in July. basically, if it's happening around Mayberry, there's probably going to be a representative of the Mayberry chapter attending. They are one of the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club most active chapters, no doubt, and always have activities going on. If you live in their area, in Knoxville, Tennessee area, be sure to reach out and join them and all their fun. So the information about how to subscribe to the Mayberry Minutes newsletter and get a paper copy is in the information as well. So go and check that out. It's basically $20 per year for two or three 16-page issues. Or you can give $10 and get a PDF version. It's up to you. So anyway, the information is in there. The Mayberry Cronies chapter of Sebring, Ohio reports that member and tribute artist Dennis Asa Blaine attended the third annual Classic Iron Car, Truck, and Bike Show in Lawndale, North Carolina, with his 1963 Ford Galaxie Mayberry patrol car. Dennis had rebuilt the car and poured love into the creation, and he made a great-looking replica of his Mayberry squad car. And he has the right to be mighty proud, too, because his car rolled away from the show with an award. That's right. The local police even checked out his car and found no mold on the car, but that can't be said of Asa's bullets. That's right. The Mayberry Card Guild, a subchapter of Blood Brothers, who's putting on the show on July 21st next year in Macon, Missouri. They met on November the 13th to make Christmas cards and share the joy of the holiday season. They're looking forward to their next gathering in January. Their Christmas party is scheduled for February the 4th. Weather permitting, they'll be there. So you'll have to call them liars on that early part for Christmas, but they will eventually have a Mayberry time there. The big plans, as I mentioned, they're putting together the 100th birthday party for Don Knotts on July the 21st, as mentioned earlier in the chapter. So go and check that out. The Trivial Trivialities chapter from Pawleys Island had a great time hosting a Mayberry party at their house in the late spring. Keith Brown, who is Colonel Harvey tribute artist, and his wife Angie made their home come alive with lots of fun, food, and door prizes and music. Two very special guests attended the event, the first being Tim White from Troublesome Hollow Bluegrass Group, who's going to be at Randy Turner's event. See how everything's connected? It's just all connected, isn't it? And the second, but not the least, was Dixie Griffith, Andy's daughter, was there at their house. Isn't that awesome? To say it was big would be an understatement. They most certainly relaxed to music under the stars and in the house, but word is they did not put a sign outside telling everybody, because they thought they would know it's night and they'd hear the music, so they didn't bother. Oh, the Colorado Fishing Holes Whistlers chapter of Colorado Springs had a gathering of about 25 like-minded Mayberry fans that attended their Mayberry night in mid-November. They watched episodes of Barney's Physical and Handy Forecloses. They shared fun, door prizes, and had a trivia contest and had healthy discussion, not chit-chat, though. They hate chit-chat. And they ate some not-so healthy desserts. But all in all, it was a special evening. And finally, the You Were on a Date, You Weren't Taking Medicine chapter from Piedmont, South Carolina, attended Mayberry Days this fall and was able to catch up with the Andy Griffith Show writer, Harvey Bullock's daughter. And not just the daughter, as Carrie Bullock was there, Carrie Bullock Scarvey, and Carrie's son, Andy Scarvey. And yes, he was named after Andy, and her brother, Andy Bullock. And yeah, he was named after Andy Griffith as well. They all attended Mayberry Days for the very first time this past year. The entire Bullock family enjoyed experiencing it so much, and they were so happy and touched that their father or grandfather in the younger Andy's place, Harvey was so revered by the fans, it really touched them, and hopefully they'll make it back to Mayberry soon. Guys, there is more information in here, and maybe I'll do it in another report. It's the Mayberry Cruise 2023 report. We will be having information coming from that because we got an interview that I did on the show, on the cruise ship with Joy Ellison. So we will do that, but I'll give you a little report later about the Mayberry Cruise, or go and check it out in the Weavers newsletter. Guys, there is so much more information in there. I have not even touched it all. We are 30 minutes into this, and I haven't even, guys, there's so much that went on this past month. Yeah, because I actually put out a Weavers newsletter in October, and then again in November. So go and check it out. Go over to Weavers and see if there's something you might like. Weavers even has gift certificates. So if you don't know what a friend might like, you can get a gift certificate from Weavers and give them the gift certificate, and they can go pick out whatever they'd like. You could do it that way too. I'm lazy. That's what I'd like to do. That'd be the best way for me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that information. All right. So that's the Weavers newsletter. Go and check out Weavers newsletter at weaversdepartmentstore.com/newsletter. That'll take you right to it, and you can get all kinds of information. So since I was talking about the Mayberry Cruise, there was a trivia contest on the Mayberry Cruise. There's always trivia, isn't there? So we're going to do some of the trivia from the cruise. So we'll do, let's see, there are 20 of these. So let's just do a few tonight, and we'll catch them up. So I'm going to get my trivia music going. There we go. So you got your pencils and a piece of paper ready. Everybody ready for your trivia? Everybody ready? All right. Here we go, guys. All right. Question number 1. This is Mayberry Cruise trivia from 2023. Thank you, by the way, to the Hearty Eating Men and Beautiful Delicate Women, and Kenneth Junkin in particular, for these wonderful questions. Question number 1. Barney has lived at the Mendel-Bright Apartments for 5 years. What is Barney's rent cost per week? What is his rent per week? Barney's lived at the Mendel-Bright Park Apartments for 5 years. I love you too, Mrs. Brindlemite. So what is Barney's rent cost per week? How much does he pay per week? Oh, I want to do the quote. All right. What is it, guys? That's the first question. Question number 1. Last read. Barney's lived at Mendel-Bright Apartments for 5 years. What is Barney's rent? I guess that was the answer. I don't know what that deal was. I don't know if y'all even heard it. The answer is, what was his rent per week? $6 a week. And what did I get? Heartache. Nothing but heartache. That's what I was wanting to say. Oh, I don't know what that dinging was. I've never heard that bell ring before. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a phone call. I don't know. All right. Next question. Everybody ready? Question number 2. On opening day of the Little League baseball season, Floyd's son dropped a fly ball right after Henry Bennett had returned a foul ball into the playing field. What was Floyd's son's name? On opening day of the Little League baseball season, Floyd's son, he dropped a ball. Yeah, fly ball. He dropped it right after Henry Bennett had just returned a foul ball into play. Yeah, name Floyd's son. Name his son. I'll read it without talking weird. On opening day of Little League baseball season, Floyd's son dropped a fly ball right after Henry Bennett had returned a foul ball to the playing field. Name Floyd's son. The answer is my boy Norman. Floyd, could it be your boy's not a very good ball player? All right. I love it. All right, number three. How many bullets did Barney once lose at the laundry? How many bullets did Barney once lose at the laundry? Oh, that's a tough one. By the way, I could give you the season and episode numbers on these. They're here, but I'm just going to... What is that? How many did they lose? How many did he lose? How many bullets did Barney once lose at the laundry? The answer is 2. 2 is the answer. I'm not sure. I think it's coming in from Facebook or something. I don't know where those beeping sounds are coming. All right, next question. So we're question number 4. He lost 2 bullets. 2 bullets. Question number 4. Ellie once chose Barney to escort her to the church picnic and dance when he came to Walker's drugstore to purchase what? Okay. Ellie once chose Barney to escort her to the church picnic and dance when he came to Walker's drugstore to purchase what? So I just love these because they make you think of it. Here's the answer. All right, here comes the answer. The answer is he was in there to purchase foot powder. I just came in to buy foot powder. See, those are the things the trivia helps me remember. Oh, what great lines. And number 5. We're only going to do 5 because we're running late tonight. So let's do 5. Number 5. According to Andy, what time does preaching begin at All Souls Church? According to Andy, what time does preaching begin at All Souls Church? Come on, anybody got an answer? According to Andy, what time does preaching begin at All Souls Church? Okay. All right, I don't see any guesses in our chat room, but I'm sure somebody knows that. All right, here comes the answer. The answer is preaching begins at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. All right, guys, how did you do? How did you do? That was 5 questions. I hope those are kind of fun. I kind of like those. Good job to Kenneth Junkin. And those were on the Mayberry Cruise. We did have winners, and I think I tell who the winners are in the Weavers newsletter, so you go check it out as well. So we'll definitely go through the other questions. There's 15 more, and we'll go through those over the next couple of weeks. I've got some great questions from Paul Mulick, too, I have not used yet. I'm going to start pulling those together. And guys, we got lots of fun going on. So guys, thank you for being here with me. I hope you enjoyed your time here in Mayberry as much as I enjoyed visiting with you. I would love to hear from you. Send me an email or call me. You can call me at 888-684-8415. Email me at floyd@imayberry.com. I would love to hear from you. If your chapter has news to report and would like to let me know, you can send it to floyd@imayberry.com. Just use the subject line chapter news and I will put it in. You can send a picture and maybe I can put it in the next issue of Weaver's newsletter. And you too can be famous. Thanks to everybody that did get the Weaver's newsletter and has checked it out. Go and check it out. Thanks to everybody just for being here with me. And we'll see you next time on 2 Chairs.